How's everybody doing? Give me a second here. Doing some technical difficulty cleanup. Hang on. Happy New Year. Let's get it. Oh, give me a second here. Oh, there you go, Kyle. I've been working all over you. Hang on. Uh, how's it going?
It's going. It's a good day.
You're all dressed up. I love it.
My first day. Always got first day webinar, first day of work. Always gotta just to impress. So.
James and I need to step our game up. Okay, all right. So give me a second here. Let's take a look. All right, so let me just go ahead and make sure that the chat is actually working.
Congrats, by the way, Kylie.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and do this. Um, give me a second here. Did you want to go ahead and share the Miro board on your end, or did you want me to go ahead and share
I
it?
can share it.
Yeah, I feel like we should do them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless my connection goes out, but like otherwise, yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and let's get everybody situated.
Okay.
All right, people. Before we go ahead and actually get started right here, I just want to go and give a big congratulations and thank you over to Kylie for actually hosting this session for y'all. We just dropped her testimonial. If you guys did not get a chance to go ahead and watch it, it's actually right here, how to secure multiple AI product manager offers with hackathons. You guys are getting it from the person that's actually done it, and she's letting you know what she did, executing the product gym methodology, but also everything she would do if she was to do it all over again. So I would absolutely go ahead, take notes, execute, execute, execute. Have you started on the new role yet, Kylie?
Yeah, so I am day one in my role. So I just did the onboarding. So this vibe coding was one of the key reasons why I got some of the offers based on some of the conversations I've had, how I promoted myself. So I'm hoping not only for people that want to learn vibe coding, but also product is very competitive. So understanding some of these frameworks will hopefully allow you to stand out. So yeah.
Okay. With that actually said, okay, please go ahead. I'm just going to take this and put it into the chat right now. Please go ahead and actually schedule a call with us if you're not part of the Product Gym program yet. Kylie here is going to be a huge advocate about why you need to be a part of this program. But the only other thing that I have to say is uh, today, Monday, is Kylie has a whole mural board for y'all. She spent a lot of time on it. I would highly recommend you guys take notes. Tomorrow is going to be about how you guys can actually go ahead and set up for monetization. And days 3 and 4, we just have more information in terms of, but like in terms of like how you would go ahead and approach your building of your actual side project. in 2 weeks' time from right now, James here is going to be hosting training for y'all on Manus. We are dropping the Manus curriculum. And for those of you who have not heard, Meta has just purchased Manus for $2 billion, the Chinese AI agent startup. Uh, all of my recruiter friends that I've been talking to, it is going to really make you guys stand out from the marketplace. So Manus, 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 I am going to be the most annoying person. And for anybody that's just like Rich is pro Chinese AI, it's like, well, no. That company, that company is the most revenue friendly, out of all these AI platforms, they have generated the most revenue. That's exactly why Meta bought them. I'll talk more about that on Thursday. So you guys will be presenting projects on Thursday, but please go ahead, schedule that call, get in the program right now. We're about to break off into small groups. But without further ado, Kylie, please go ahead, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then yeah, let's share some more info.
Yeah, so I guess I can start my journey with Product Gem. So I actually started in 2019 with Product Gem. I came from a marketing and consulting background, and I didn't really know how to get myself into the product marketplace. Going into this first program, I landed around 5 job offers, and one of them ended up being Bloomberg. It was an amazing opportunity, and that product experience continued for me. I had the ability to work at organizations such as Linux Foundation, um, Site, and today I'm working at Bill Trust. And one of the key reasons why I really just joined this program and why it's amazing is one, I think it's a community of people, and they're really thinking of different ways to stand out. This is the most competitive landscape. So giving you that overview. So I'm excited to share some of my experiences, as well as I think my marketing background actually now gives me a superpower within this candidate space, and it's something that's critical in here. So that's just a bit of me. It's nice to meet you guys, and I'm looking forward to teaching you on AI. And by the way, I have over 8 years of experience in AI, way before anyone understood the concepts. So understanding what data means, understanding the right AI products in itself. So just to give you context there, I've been doing 0 to 1 products for over 10 years. So I'm hoping to give you guys some experience there. So that's just me.
All righty, shall we go ahead and show the Miro board?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, let
Let's
me use share access.
that would be that would be great. Let me see if I can actually.
Shared
Y'all,
access provided. So, oh, there we go.
yeah. Sorry, Miro is not my favorite tool, I have to be honest, but this is what Rich is working with. So we are so day one. What I want you guys to come out with in the hackathon, I'm teaching you guys frameworks that you can not only apply here, but continuously apply. The idea is it's not just to do one and done. You're going to continuously either innovating this one said product or continue working on other kind of vibe coding applications because at the end of the day, you need to show your proof of work. AI is really putting less validity into a product manager's background. So people need to show more proof. So this is not only the hackathon should showcase this, but that's kind of what you should do. Just at the end of this, I want you to understand how to come up with what a niche is, what a problem is, what a persona is. And so for tomorrow, I want you to go into it being like, I'm starting to establish my problem statement. I'm trying to understand the vibe coding tools as well. There's a lot to get into this, so I'm just giving you an overview. Um, so, and if anyone has questions in certain areas, like a certain section, Rich, I'm happy to kind of go into them by each section. So if people have questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Yeah,
Um,
pop it into the Q&A chat box, people, and then we'll get you guys in there.
Yeah. So one of the key reasons I want to go into what a niche actually is. And this is going to be quite key within a hackathon. Typically it is something that is not a mass product idea. It's something very key and specific. So the goal is if you come up with something that's way too broad, what you end up doing is you start to search for all these different problems, start to delve into an analysis, start overbuilding something. By focusing in on a certain subset, it allows you to essentially get to that outcome faster. Because at the end of the day, the best products and businesses were built on this construct. Amazon started out as books, selling books. Notion actually started as a note-taking tool for internal. They didn't have this arduous system with all this e-commerce or all these different integrations. They started off with one concept. So starting off in this mind frame will allow you to kind of iterate and kind of see if you're going into the right direction. So going into what a good niche and a bad niche is, I'm going to show you some good ideas. So a couple of ideas that were shared on the last hackathon and also some of the ideas I've had. Couples preparing for pregnancy costs. Why this is considered a niche concept is essentially it is focusing on a certain customer. It's just not financial preparation. It's focusing on a certain life period. And so junior product managers for prepping interviews, that is good because it's focusing in on product manager roles in the interview prep state. This was actually a product that I actually pitched directly in my last hackathon with Rich because he actually showcased that problem right on the call. So I actually pivoted to another solution and brought this one into place, which is how I'm ending out partnering with him on my chosen application. And then small business owners managing VAT compliance in Germany. Focusing in on a specific country as well can really highlight that. So if you guys know different languages, take advantage of this. That will definitely hone in. Also, AI can also just translate it. But understanding that market is quite key. So I want to go into some of the examples for bad. So AI app for planning big life events. There's just too many use cases. This could be hurricanes. This could be family emergencies. It goes into too many wide spectrums. So this is a reason why this wouldn't be a good one to land for a hackathon. A productivity tool for professionals. What kind of productivity? Is it writing? Is it coding? What kind of professional? So this would land you into a tool that's not really solving a particular problem if you end up going too narrow. And then an AI tool to help founders make better decisions. First of all, and I'll talk about this on day 3, but what kind of AI are you actually implementing here? There could be predictive, there could be agentic, there could be generative, which is chat-based, but understanding the stage that they're kind of trying to make that decision, you would actually be able to update this being like, oh, I want to help create better pitches for PE firms. And I need guidance on how to build that presentation. Instead of looking something so broad, honing in on that is kind of key. So niches are very critical because they'll allow you to kind of focus in on that. So any questions on niches or anything like that before I continue?
Y'all should be asking as many questions as possible, and in the Q&A button, load it up there. But yeah, I think you should keep going, Kylie.
Okay, I'm gonna keep going. If y'all have more questions, I'm more organic when it comes to this. So after you come up with your niche area, there's 2 quadrants. There's a persona and then there's a problem statement. So I want to go into the persona, which I did highlight a little bit. And this is going to also be critical in your hackathon. And this will be a selling point within the candidates. Essentially, what do they do and where do they do it? So when I did reference the niche, noting the Germany, those are good contexts into kind of understanding that persona. What are they responsible for? Kind of what are their customer pain points and kind of what alternatives are they using today? When you're starting to sell that initial hackathon item, a key thing I would say with the persona and when you're choosing a niche, if you already have product intuition in that area, have you actually encountered this area before? Um, have you seen a lot of people complaining about this experience online? Pull those insights and delve into creating that story. So when I was initially doing Chosen, I actually did an analysis on why I'm choosing the junior PM. And the key thing I realized is I wanted people to keep coming back. And being in a junior role, you are continually transitioning, up leveling yourself and trying to interview for a new job. So this user, I gave pressures, no feedback, because in AI, no one's giving feedback. You're even lucky to get an interview itself in this day and age. So ultimately the goal was landing a role and being able to stand out. And then if I were to frame this, I wouldn't have landed on this direction if I ended up putting ambitious professional looking to level up. That is not giving any constraints into what that user is, how they perform. It's just really essentially giving a broad scope. And you really should be able to be like, what is the function? What are they doing in this day to day? What are they doing today? And what is my platform that I'm choosing to build going to help them? So personas are really key um, in that. So I will keep going if there's no questions on personas. And then a problem statement. This is probably one of the most important things. If people don't know product management, problem statements are very critical in our day to day. I see these every day, whether I'm in a Teams meeting and I'm getting pinged from sales, whether I'm on a customer support call that's telling me about a certain workflow fragmentation that's going on. You have to be able to extrapolate what is going on with that said initiative and kind of come up with your own insights. So coming up with this framework with those people that aren't familiar, all you have to say is why I normally up with the persona first is because that actually sometimes helps paint the problem. So the persona struggles with specific problem with context, which leads to a negative outcome because of current constraint or gap. So in this case, for the product that I built, and I literally was showing this to Rich, and he was laughing nonstop because it was literally honing in on his experience. Junior product managers struggle to synthesize feedback from mock interviews and real interviews when preparing for new roles, which leads to unfocused preparation and repetitive mistakes because feedback is scattered across tools and requires manual analysts. So essentially, I am giving a statement that is very clear to that user why they're getting focused insights and what Chosen is going to be doing for them. And a bad problem statement is something that's broad. People struggle to prepare for interviews effectively. I will say sometimes in broad ones, you can start off broad, and then as you know more of the research, you can build into it. But the point of it is essentially coming up with more context there so you can collectively go into that. So that is quite key when it comes to problem statements. Any questions, Rich, you see, or am I going to keep going?
Keep going. I think let's do the questions at the very end.
Cool. I'll do that at the end.
Yeah, I
Cool.
think people have questions at the end.
Yeah. So the reason why I brought those three things together, bringing niche, persona, and problem together. I want you guys to come up with three different ideas. And the main reason behind this is I actually came up with three areas when I was initially doing hackathons in the past. I'm going to give you an example. I built the weight loss application as the first solution because I came into it with the idea of what was my highest AI post frequency in generative AI, and it was actually in this application. So I had the most product intuition. But as I was building it, I then came to the decision that it was too complex and I needed to take a more simplified approach, which is why I chose number one. So if you guys come up with more than one idea, I think that will definitely give you guys a better arm just in case the vibe coding application that you didn't exactly work. Coming up with like more ideas is definitely beneficial. Two is fine. But in this case, these were the three that I chose. Mold, I've experienced mold, unfortunately, so I know an egregious amount of information about mold. So when it came to the niches, this went into something broader. The personas, I gave a high level overview, the problem statement, and then this decisions and why. This might be actually very beneficial if you guys ever are going to be interviewing or trying to build a portfolio. We always come up with certain solutions, and PMFs in this day and age, we have to release something every 3 months. If we have to stop prioritizing something, completely kill an idea, this is the area to see, like, this is an area of explanation, which you then can highlight. I actually highlighted this in a couple of my interviews, and it's a big reason why I converted in a lot of them because I gave them more reasons and context behind my decisions. So finally, if you guys don't know the right coding tools, I'm giving you an overview. Note, it's a light overview. I even missed Gemini on here. So you guys, the key is when you're choosing the right vibe coding tool is one, are you familiar with it already? I think that is going to play into your benefit here. So I've put Lovable on top because it's the pretty much the most popular one in the marketplace right now. So my advice is understand when you go back to your niche, your problem statement, and your persona, this also plays into the tech that's using. So Cursor is great for more of a dev stack. So if you are more technical, take advantage of this. And they also have scaling for multi-models and usage there. So this is one area you can excel in. Base 44, Richard has content in the AI product channel. So if you guys are curious about building in a new tool, this will allow you to essentially create that vibe coding platform. I've also from Reforge Build, if you guys are existing product managers in current stacks, or you want to actually use a hackathon idea where you're like actually rebuilding an existing product, Reforge Build actually allows you to kind of reuse the branding in a really friendly way. And I also know that they have a 2-month free trial program. Hopefully that's still available. I'm actually currently in that right now. But for those that are looking for workarounds, Reforge Build is great. I've also heard really good things about Bolt and Replit AI from the community. So just giving you an overview of those tools and technology. But I think at the end, spend that time tomorrow, if you haven't already, looking into the vibe coding tools, investing that time and energy. And I think ultimately that is also going to be the crutch here within the hackathon. You don't want to be learning too much or not feel like I'm not as technical. Cursor might be a little bit harder for you in this. So figured that's some context there. So Rich, that is all I have in this section. I'm also happy to go over problem statements too, if people have them, if they want to share them with us. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead and actually go through, I think, some of the questions. If you guys didn't put we're going to prioritize the questions on the Q&A button first. Um, so if you guys have questions, please go ahead and type it into Q&A. And actually, as I'm doing that, I would like to go ahead and actually get James, are you on the are you here as a panelist right now?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay,
he
so
is. He's one of us.
yeah, he is one of us, one of the originals.
OG.
Amit Patel is actually one of us too. Let's get that guy on. So
Yeah, get him on. Let's just have more of them.
right. David, Canlis, thank you for joining in. Let me go out there and see here. But okay, so let's take a look at the questions so far. Could this be one or two specific? Create an app for finding summer camps in Denver based on kids' interests, summer schedule. Can somebody raise their hand who wrote this question so we can go out there and have you elaborate a little bit more? Usha, give me a second here. Oh, okay. Hang on. Usha, were you the one that dropped this question?
Yeah, so I asked to share some AI PM projects for reference.
Mhm. Yeah. So, could this be one or two specific? I think create an app for finding summer camps in Denver based on, I think 100%. Like, I don't have any kids, but I think that I know of, but
I I think it's important to focus on the framework
Yeah.
rather than the actual like theme of the project. Like keep in mind, like granted, if you guys are actually interested in building something to take to market and like build as a product, great. But like the focus should be on the framework and fitting into that framework so that it like your project doesn't go off the rails, right? Like if it's too broad, there to Kylie's point, like you're gonna have way too many questions that than answers, right? And so you got to keep this narrow enough, scope down, and this framework is so that we're able to take something 0 to 1 in a short period of time that's narrow enough in scope. If I summarize that well enough, Kylie, I don't want
No,
to say
it's
it, yeah.
perfect. I
Yeah.
would probably say the only thing is missing is maybe where's the struggle in this process? In the camping, is it are they attending a ton of summer camp events? Is it trying to find one? Maybe honing in a little bit more on that. I don't see a problem within the Denver. I think it's actually good that you're understanding that market first before expanding into other cities. A great example is like Uber and Lyft. They started in major cities first. They didn't go all over the place. So I think allowing yourself to focus in on one area if you're knowledgeable. My advice, if you would go into it, just figure out what is that key pain point that they're surfacing there and bring that into the hackathon. So,
Yeah. I think that's really cool. Like a lot of rideshare companies too. I remember when I first got to New York, there was a VIA.
yes.
Like they only had specific parts of Manhattan, and of course we knew it was going to be a matter of time before they get to the rest of Manhattan, and then they hit like obviously like Williamsburg, Dumbo, like a little bit more inland. They'll do the drops, but they won't do the pickups in those areas. So starting small, 100%. Don't limit yourself there. All right. So I see a lot of AI product manager roles focus primarily on growth. Is having a niche for growth professionals a good idea, or should you be worried about growth later on and is problem independent? Who actually dropped that question? Can you raise your hand? About the growth product manager role. It's funny, we were talking about growth product manager before the Christmas break. Uh, Anybody wants to own up to that question? Oh, F non. Okay, you want to go ahead and talk about that question a little bit, man?
Yep, absolutely. Hey guys. So my
Hey.
question was that generally for a lot of AI PMs posting, you see they're very growth oriented. So while picking up a niche, is it important to keep that perspective in mind that you want to build up a product, or is that something basically pick up a product that you can basically market on later on as a growth product, or is that something that is completely independent?
So important. So there's a really big concept in product management and a key reason why I've been successful. It's called product market fit, where you're constantly building out your product. So niches start from a ground zero approach. But in order to continually build that, you can either build the feature, expand on that, whether it's additional analytics, a new agentic piece within the tool. You can also introduce it to new countries. Let's say you started in Denver, but then you realize in Oregon that there's a similar market in the West Coast. So allowing yourself to constantly build, and I think the the growth matrix at this point is every 3 months you should be doing a new PMF. I've heard this around within Lovable and all the top tech product managers. And it's something that, for example, with my product itself, with Chosen, I'm not seeing this just as a PM. I see this scaling into UX, Also trades since, hey, partnerships, Rich is doing that side of the business. So as long as you are constantly thinking of those growth patterns, that matters. The reason why niches are important and it helps you as a product manager is because it allows you to focus. If you then focus on too many geographies, then you're dealing with a lot more constraints. So that's what I just add there. I don't know, Rich or James, if you have anything else to add to that.
I have tons to add to that. Yeah, after for starters, what's your background, man? That's a really like usually people don't ask that question. That's actually like probably one of the best questions I've heard. I was gonna say all year, but I'm gonna like all 2025 and so far 2026. What do you do?
I appreciate it. I was working as a product manager at Goldman Sachs. Just got impacted by some restructuring. But yeah, work pretty much in the data product side.
Got it, got it. Yeah, it's actually part of our curriculum, and actually the cohort starting forward is actually led by James. We call it the Growth Product Manager slash User Acquisition Certification here at Product Gym. But one of the most important things in product management is actually like like when you're talking about growth product management, you are talking about acquiring your first 100 users. Growth product management is all about user and customer acquisition. If you take a look at any legendary company, this is one of the key textbook questions that they ask, especially for Y Combinator, is like, this is Sam Altman talking about how they got their first 100 users. The first 100 users is it's the worst. You're straight crawling with no knee pads. It
Mm-hmm.
is it is brutal. This is actually Reid Hoffman from LinkedIn talking about how they got their first 100 users on LinkedIn. The hardest is like getting the first 100 users on Tinder. Getting like the first 100 users on gosh, even getting like the first 100 customers for like Product Gym, right? The first 100 is the absolute hardest, but after if you go ahead, any one of your famous favorite founders, like from Elon Musk down to Jensen Huang, the first 100 is like the most difficult. I recently just dropped a list of all the hottest companies for like 2026 to go out there and drop like pretty much that's coming out with roles. All of them are they're all being invested in either by the biggest tech companies right now or the Trump family. And I could tell you that's where all the opportunity is because this is where all the players that are making the most money, this is where they're deploying their capital to grow the next frontier of their empires. And the first 100 users of all these companies, like Kalshi right now, Polymarket, like prediction markets are absolutely crushing it. If you take a look at like how did they get their first 100 customer, Kalshi also paying 300K plus product manager roles. Polymarket's also paying 300K plus product manager roles, right? But how they got their first 100 customers is like the most difficult. The way that they're doing it right now is, let's just say Kylie right here, she has her product called Chosen. Before, how you would used to do it is you would build the product first, make sure the product works, and then you're figuring out how to go ahead and monetize. Right now, the model is completely reverse in AI is right now, Kylie has to build her brand and her story. You have to be like a diehard cult fan of Kylie. You have to be on team Kylie because right now, all of the people that are dropping products right now, they are talking about like, who is James? Who's Amit? Who's David? You are a fan of the creator, like the person behind the brand first. And then whatever it is that they're selling afterwards, that's like a byproduct of it. So if you're thinking, how do I build the best dating app? Or how do I build the best app that's going to find daycare? Or like in Denver, right? Or the best whatever, and there's this need there, and you're going to monetize that way. With respect, people have it completely backwards. In today's market, you're launching 30 products like a little mini VC over and over again. And it's no small feat to be going like 0 to 1 market, 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 market. from there, basically, by the time that you're 30 products in, like whatever it is that you're selling, people are going to buy. But also by that time, you just have this process down to like a science where you can just roll it out. Does that make sense, Afnan?
It does, it does. Thank you so much for the
Yeah.
comprehensive answer. Yeah, it makes complete sense. I think the model is flipped, and that's why I had the question come up. So appreciate it.
Yeah. Please go ahead and sign on to that free WAP community. But I actually posted on there. There was like a group of Korean Canadian guys that participated in a hackathon in Korea. And they literally filmed the whole experience of them coding for 36 hours straight. Nobody knew what the hell they were building. At the end, they ended up winning the competition, but they got like close to 5 million followers in the process. And then afterwards, then people are like, oh, this is what they're building. You're building your fan following and your distribution first, and then you're dropping your product afterwards. So this is actually part of the hackathon, but at like a very surface level, obviously, to get deeper, you have to be a part of the product gym program. Going into the interview and being able to display this is something that's highly attractive to company that will help you really, really stand out. So great question. Um, that was such a good question. I actually thought James popped it in there to hype up the freaking cohort.
Oh, you guys nailed it. And Afnan and I met on LinkedIn already in the last couple of days, and so I'll let you
Right,
guys step in
Yep.
there.
right. Next question is from Ramia. With respect to persona, it looks like we are going to pick different levels with PM roles. Give me a second here. Where's Ramia? Okay, you want to elaborate on that question a little bit?
So, so what I was referring to is based on the earlier discussion, right? When we pick a specific role, it looks like you are going to look at that problem statement from a PM level, as a PM, right? As a product manager, nothing from the customer lens or a different persona lens.
I mean, when I was looking at that persona lens, I have seen these customers in Product Gym. They were legitimately my customers. So from that lens, I determined that the junior PMs were the stronger primary customer because the customer lifetime value, I'm like, who is someone that's going to keep going back? If you're in a higher level in a PM organization, if you're in a C-suite, you are highly likelihood staying at that same role longer versus someone who is in that junior level role. And that's why I was more focused in on that. I looked at the frequency of that. So that's just more of that lens when it came to that understanding of why I made that decision there. Hopefully that gives you more context, but I didn't want to just focus on a product manager because product managers at different levels have very different ways of approaching interviews. And junior PMs with this market do not really fully understand the concept. And it's so competitive. From experience starting in 2019, I, on average, easily got 50 interviews a week. I was lucky to get 20 a week, but I had to apply to a lot more roles. So it is a very vastly, and I know junior PMs are even struggling to get just one. And if they have that one matters in order to do that interview prep and get that concepts, talking to people within the community. So I figured I'd delve a little bit deeper into that. And I think probably Rich can speak on that one too. But yeah, that was kind of some of the reasoning behind why I chose junior PM. So as you guys choose personas, look at frequency, look at that lifetime value. So yeah.
Okay. Just another follow-up question. Let's say, if I have to pick a persona a little bit above junior PM, a little bit of a senior PM or a mid-range PM. So this PMs will be interacting with not only with the customer pain points, but it could be from the marketing or any other cross-functional teams as well, right? So when we pick a problem statement, can we look at that wider lens, or do you suggest like this is my first hackathon? So I was just trying to
Yeah,
see.
no, just to be clear, you don't have to choose PMs as your persona. You can choose anyone. I think the key is
Okay.
choosing the product intuition. But if
Mm-hmm.
we're choosing PMs, I think one key problem that I do see is like they need to learn how to be more thought leaders. And typically we're just doing the release notes. We have to do a little bit more to brand themselves. So that could be a way of kind of marketing yourself, helping them. Actually, that was thinking in my head. I was going to noodle that into my product. But I think if you focused on a certain core element, yeah, that matters. But I just wanted to be clear, you don't have to do PMs. I'm just using those as references. So as long as you understand that
Yeah.
problem area, I know this problem area because I've been in product gym for so many years. So it's
Yeah.
it's a very easy problem for me to understand in persona too. So
Yeah, I think going with something that either you're interested in and or you're familiar with, whether it's locality, whether it's industry, whether it's theme model, right? I think somebody mentioned Denver and children. If you have kids and live in Denver, that's probably a good lane to stick to, right? And so, like, simplify the ideation by asking yourself, hey, what would I like to do over the next 3 days? Like, that would be of any interest because it'll actually keep you in the game and make it a much more pleasant and actually productive journey if you're bought in and committed, right? And so, don't overthink it. I think about it as really a generalized framework again, and think about like, hey, you might have come across like a situation that was frustrating, and you might have an idea to solve that problem, right? Work backwards from there. There's a lot of ways to approach this, but try to keep it within that framework, and stick with something again. An easy suggestion is to stick with something that you like, you're familiar with. For me, I might think of something in sports, right? Because I'm a big sports head, right? And so something along those lines, I think, would be a great way to just get sort of the idea, like the ideation and the ball rolling.
yeah.
Got it. Okay. So let's have yeah, if you guys have any additional questions, please pop it into the Q&A because a lot of people are just giving out random comments in chat. Okay, so the next one right here, Priyanka.
Is it a good
Hey,
one?
sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
My laptop just died, so I'm on my phone. But
Uh,
I just wanted to add on to James's point, like the most valuable personas that you can have are problems that you yourself are currently experiencing right now.
Yes.
So being able to create a good persona of who you are and the problem you're experiencing will give you a good problem to actually solve as a worst case scenario that you get out of this.
okay, cool. That's a very good one from Ahmed. Uh, Okay, and then we have a question here from Priyanka. Can you walk us through a live example of problem statement, just to learn more about clear prompting to get best results? Do you follow? Okay, so like, uh, give us
Can
more
I?
context.
So obviously I don't come from AI background, so I'm just trying to understand like Gen AI like just from a past couple of months. So I just want to see if what kind of a format do you uh, kind of follow if you do to get the results that you're looking for like on Lovable. I just want to see how you exactly prompt. Do you keep building on your prompt, or do you follow a specific format as to the things that you want to include in your first prompt? Just to get an idea.
So, y'all attend day 3. I'm going to be going over that same construct. So, I'm going to be going over how you finalize those problems in that niche and persona. Day 2, I'm actually talking about marketing this idea. And sometimes marketing can actually bring out some use cases. So, that's a key reason why I'm bringing that out in day 2 is to understand your market and also understand how to market yourself as a product. So when you're going into day 3, I'm going to be telling you about how to do an MVP. So a core thing before you go into prompting, like what is that core facet? If you don't have an MVP, which is a minimal viable product, this is where your product can kind of go in a little bit. It's too broad. It's going in too many directions. Honing in on a core workflow and core actions and constraints, and then following what are prompting practices. So following that construct, I'm going to be guiding you guys into how to do certain prompting. Note, because we aren't focusing on a specific tool. I'm going to be using this from a broad perspective, but it doesn't mean we can't focus on a more specific one, they say, in the future.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Priyanka, because these models are constantly getting updated, they're also going to be updating how to effectively prompt.
Yeah.
And these platforms are all out here dropping guides on how to specifically structure your prompts. And so I would certainly take some time and depending on the platform you're going to choose, like Lovable, go onto their website, go onto Reddit, go on like these guys are dropping multi-page PDF guides on exactly what the prompting structure needs to be against their latest version, right? Every time they update their stuff. Like
I will also give you advice. Some of the best prompting tips I actually got from the people within the community, like Lovable, for example. They constantly, people within the growth product are always giving tips on that. So if you look up like Lovable prompting practices, I guarantee you'll also find some content and concepts. I am going into that in the day 3, but if you guys want to go ahead and start doing that, take that initiative. I think understanding prompting too can also
yeah.
help determine the best vibe coding tool. But no, these tools are starting to get pretty good at understanding best practices. They're even like Lovable, for example, is like, hey, this is too broad. And what ends up happening is you might have too much of a buggy code. So through the day 3 module, I'll also help you guys understand how to kind of frame that so you're not going to be dealing with these situations. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Problem statements are like it's very, very, very good because like even from like a sales and marketing perspective, you're not looking at like how to get a customer to say yes. You're looking at all the reasons why customers are going to say no, and then like trying to create opportunities within each obstacle, right? That's what really product management's about, and really just showing them showing like an interviewer, or even if you are gonna pitch a startup idea to a VC later on in your career. Okay, yeah, like so you would run into this problem, and then you're like, yeah, but we figured out a solution for that, and this is the solution. They would absolutely love it. So actually, do you guys, I don't know, quick show of hands, you guys want to see how one of the fastest monetizing AI apps right now in Japan? You want to see what their problem statement is and like how they're doing, how they're like solving that problem? I don't know. Well, okay, all right. I've been promoting this guy so much. They actually have you guys heard of this app called HealMate? Jay's laughing. Okay, so this is HuMate, and it is an app. It's the number one app right now on the Japan App Store, and I'm going to tell you guys this. This thing is about to get rolled out worldwide. HuMate is a Japanese dating app for married individuals seeking serious connections or affairs. So this is actually, yeah, you throw it out there and people are like laughing, right? But where investors start thinking about throwing some real serious money into it is, let's just pretend like we're at a VC right now and somebody's pitching this idea. I actually got a chance to see this thing. This was actually, James, this is actually on a Korean TV show. And, the Japanese guy's like, so you're married, and there is a huge stigma in Japan about getting divorced. So you don't want to get divorced, but you're only living once and you want to have some fun. So we're going to go out there and get on this app, right? And it's called HumanMate. Okay, so the number one thing is, all right, so if we're going to treat this thing seriously, is you're telling me that people would pay for a resource to help them have an affair in a safe setting, that generally speaking, people want to cheat on their partner. It's not going to take a lot of convincing to a VC to get behind that. Now, what is going to be a problem is, what do you guys think the problem is afterwards? So do you really think a country like Japan, or even, gosh, I don't even think people are going to do it in America after the astronomer guy, right? Is really going to be uploading their photos saying, I'm looking for an affair? No. So you're going to have to find ways to go out there and pair people to match based upon certain characteristic traits. But how do we go out there and ensure that we don't run into people that we actually know? So you would have to hand over your whole phone book. You would have to hand over your whole contact list, and we would have to make sure that there's no connection within 2 to 3 degrees. So there's no way for me to accidentally meet my wife's coworker's brother's long distance cousin on the other side of Tokyo, right? So they've actually proven this out. But like, if you're actually thinking about it, like that's an example of a problem statement. Okay, what's the next problem that they're going to have? What's the next problem they're going to have after that? What's the next problem they're going to have after that? So these people are going to need a place to meet. Where are they going to go ahead and meet? It's a city of 38 million people. It's pretty easy to go out there and run into somebody to run into people that you know. How are we going to go out there and set up this meeting, right? So every single part of the funnel, when they were pitching, they were actually showing different ways to go out there and monetize. So they're actually turning obstacles into opportunities, but they're actually just thinking about like what's actually happening next. That's a pretty important skill that you're going to have as a product manager because you're road mapping the thing. There was a time, I think when we started Product Gym, it was 2016. I remember at that time, because I graduated school 2014, you could literally in California just walk into a VC office and say, we're going to revolutionize the way people buy coffee. And the two biggest degenerate frat boys can walk out of there with $2 million in cash. You try doing that right now, it's not going to happen, right? So you got to show them like what's the next problem after that, leading them all the way down the rainbow. And it actually shows that you've actually thought things through because we're playing chess, not checkers. And what are the opportunities to go out there and monetize? Because otherwise, like you guys are just going to burn cash, and we're all going to be looking for jobs, right? That's what they're really getting at. But yeah, problem statements. Also, what we learned in marketing, what hurts the most or what pits people off the most gets people to pay the fastest. So when people are like, that's like a really like, oh, that's like a huge pain point, they're gonna want to go ahead and like they're willing to shell out money to like go ahead and get around it. Apparently, in this case, they have a female to male ratio of 81 female rate, 81% female to like the remaining male. So that's how many married females in Japan are ready to go out there and say, I'm ready to have an affair this weekend.
Granted, Japan's a very unique culture. Let's put that out there as a and I'm already predicting what you're gonna pull up on some of these following questions here, Rich. But just want to keep you honest on time as we get through some of these.
Giving some Turin, what's your question? You had your hand raised.
Yeah, I think I um
You
pasted my
dropped
questions in the
you
chat
dropped the
instead
code
of product gym.
you dropped the
Pro
code block here, Tarun, I think. Like this looks like what?
That looks
Java?
like,
Yeah,
yeah, constant. Hang on.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like
the code
I
snippet.
wasn't able to like earlier I pasted in the chat and it got deleted. And then I did the same thing, but it's coming as some code here.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
But I can like speak to my question. It's just
sure.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure. So, when you're talking about niche, so I'm just giving an example because I'm just want to build something right now, which is I'm facing a huge pain at right. It's applying for jobs at scale, but I'm pretty sure there are like many tools or products or solutions out there. So, is like, how do I find like niche within this? Is it like something I just want to make sure if I go on building out this project, it's worthy enough to showcase in my portfolio and as such. Because I
So
think,
are you asking for yourself about how to apply to jobs at scale or like how to roll?
yeah, I mean, I just know this is the problem which I face, and I want to make my life easier by having some kind of a solution. Obviously, I haven't thought of yet, but this is the thing which I want. But I also think this is a very common problem, and uh, how do I find niche in it? That's the thing.
You-
The two
There's
resident product managers here, what would your answers be?
I think one problem that I noticed that's happening with these mass applications is that they're detecting AI and they're actually causing them to leave the platform. So if you did it in a safe way that allowed them not to get their accounts revoked, that could be a way of looking at it. I also have a background in the jobs. I feel like I've done so many different industries. I can't even tell you. I've done bed bug companies. So Um, no
Very
kidding.
good.
So I would say like if there's a particular problem happening that's like causing friction, that's one way. You can also look from a titles perspective too. It could be a specific niche of an industry that not necessarily uses like LinkedIn or Mass Indeed, maybe going to special niche career sites.
Okay.
Yeah, that would probably be my advice
Yeah. I mean,
there.
and you could
Okay.
hack it if you have a recruiter account on LinkedIn, you have like much broader and deeper access. And so if I'm not sure what I was multitasking a bit, apologies, but the specific problem you're running into, is it the integration with LinkedIn? Was it?
No, so yeah, integration is basically one because I'm not able to
Yep.
scrape the LinkedIn post, and I'm like able to do it on Indeed and as such. But the
Yep.
most useful platform is obviously LinkedIn.
Yep.
So instead of that, can I go, is it like worth putting my effort into still into this or
I mean, it depends on like, do you want, and if you want to use this as the project or the actual concept,
I also
sure.
want to like make my life easier. That's
Yeah.
the thing, like,
No,
yeah,
of
so
course.
that's
I definitely, but if you're spending more time building the thing than it would
yeah,
take you to do the actual applications, I
Yeah,
think it's a pretty,
the thing that I would worry about in this initiative is that there are a lot of different types of job applications. And
yep, yep.
so they also have their own recruiting tooling and system and how that would integrate. So if you did want to do it, I would probably try to focus on one, whether that's Workday
platform.
or
Okay.
yeah.
Yep, yep.
So I'm trying to find this because Simplify Jobs, that was one I actually used. You might want to look into that product because it's very similar to what you're talking about.
Okay.
It's actually an extension that
What's the
allows
name?
you to
Oh,
mass
sorry.
apply. Yeah. So
What's the name again? Simplify?
Simplify Jobs,
Okay.
simplify
Okay.
dot jobs. Let me see if I can put it in.
There's a handful of them out there, by the way, Tarun.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I would just look at like I would just search like job application automation, you know?
Got
Um,
it.
and there you could use like a browserless or headless setup, right? There's a number of ways to scrape without like being as detected or easy to be detected, right? But again,
Yep.
um, yeah,
Got
I,
it.
I
Got
would
it.
say I think like go out there and if it's an application for yourself, that's one thing. If you want to build it as a product, it's a different perspective, and so I would make that decision.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to find like, first like I'm like my customer myself. Like,
Yep,
that
yep,
the
of course,
first customer I want to like help myself
of
this.
course, of
And
course.
once that is like proven it's good, maybe I can like, work it on to make it as a product.
Yeah. And for me, like when I was building these scrapers, I realized I just learned to scrape more than I did.
Mhm.
Like I learned to build a product to scrape, right? Like you
Okay,
get
yeah,
into
yeah.
like understanding some of these capabilities. Like I've also seen how the ability to scrape has progressed in the last 6 to 12 months, and that's been rather rapid, right? And so these platforms are therefore rapidly putting up the gates, right? And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
yeah. Go ahead, Kylie.
The reason why I brought up the AI detection initially, because all of these bigger job sites are getting smarter at it now. Now they have limits to 50 a day and they completely lock your account.
Hmm.
So that is something that you might want to keep in mind when it comes to that. What are those parameters? Um, just yeah, so you might have a harder time with like bigger
Yeah.
applications.
Yeah, okay.
You
No,
I
but thanks
mean,
for all these resources. I'll obviously do more research and pivot
Yeah.
yeah.
if something is a better idea or still worth it to
Yeah,
invest my time in.
as I noted earlier too, not only come up with this one, come up with like maybe another one and see which
Yeah.
one sticks better. Because I came into it thinking I'm going to be doing the weight loss one. And all of a sudden I was like, I'm starting to add onboarding to my tool. I'm like, what am I doing? And I'm going to even show you guys that concept when I was doing that. And I ended up deprioritizing that. So if you come up with another concept, you'd be surprised, like, how much being like, okay, Ada, like that's why vibe coding is great. You can create two different prompts and say, okay, this one's actually really solving that customer pain point. It's more simplified. I can actually reach that outcome. If you're going to deal with I'm dealing with a LinkedIn integration. I'm dealing with all of these different ATS symptoms. That's going to be harder to get to that derived outcome, which is everyone's, is to demo something. So that is something I want you guys to be clear on is like whatever you do, make sure it's reachable by Thursday
Yep.
presentation. And that's something key within product too. We have to deliver certain outcomes within a certain time. If we focus on a lot of different areas, then we're not reaching that set initiative. So I figured I just preface
No,
that.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Right.
then the last point there, I would just say, like, think about, like, focus on the journey. Like, what you guys build isn't important. It's what you guys learn and you're like the story you're able to tell around this experience that they're interested in. They don't care about what you built. They care about the fact that you actually got in front of your machine and built the damn thing, executed, learned, like got over hurdles and like roadblocks, because as you're working with these tools you're going to hit a roadblock every like 45 minutes, quite honestly, unless you've done this many times over, right? And so yeah, that would be my last sort of.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Um, yeah, turn, just lock in and just apply to as many jobs as possible.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Like, um, yeah, in the past like almost decade that I've been doing this as like for a living, I always hear from people saying like I'm gonna build some scraper. Like, no, you're not. I'm really sorry to have to tell you this, but I've had so many people actually tell me they're gonna do it. Have not been successful. And like the amount of time that you're spending debugging and testing, you would have just gotten like 100 apps out by that time. So,
Agreed.
all right. So next question is, can Google Stitch be used for vibe coding, or are we supposed to use something from Kylie's list? Honestly, you can use whatever it is that you want.
Yeah.
If you plug in the, like, at the end of the day, it's a prompt, right? That prompt is like you can pop in two mangoes, a celery, and a coconut in a Ninja blender versus a NutriBullet, right? Like,
Maybe that shouldn't be the prompt, Rich. I'm just going to point that out to everyone. That's probably not a good prompt. But as long as you choose the right tool that you feel confident in, it could be on this list. Tell me about a new one. And you can
yeah,
also like surface that. So this is something that as long as you feel comfortable with it, you have a lot of knowledge, like you feel like your skill set will benefit and financially too. Let's be
yeah.
real. Market, financial, look at them, like look at how you can build more of these because I want you guys to make sure you're not just going to be building one now. The idea is you're going to continuously either build this one or new ones. Because you need to show as product managers how to prove yourself. So
For sure.
Okay, so I got
Nice.
another question here from Nina. I have a military and product development background. Ooh, am I a good candidate for this AI product management hackathon? Sure, yes, you are. Um,
Well, it's if you want to get into product,
right. If
or
you
if you
want to get
want,
into product management,
or you want to understand how to take something 0 to 1 and get your hands dirty, right? Like go through that experience. Anybody that's looking or interested in building something from the ground up, I think this is a great opportunity to do that with a community and a group of folks.
Sorry, Nina, you're prior service military or you're in defense tech right now?
I don't think she's on the speaking
Oh,
panel.
she's not in the panel. Oh, okay. Never
Um,
mind. But
but
either
she's
which
in the
way,
military.
I'm
She's in the
I'm
military.
prior military. I'm a PG grad myself from Kylie and James era. Been in it for a while. Yikes. You don't gotta salute me, man. But yeah, I mean, uh, from my experience in going through a couple of different roles in product, being in the service and just having that ability to actually just work with cross-functional teams, especially for me, I was a line guy in the army. Uh, it definitely does translate, at least that skill set, and being able to be that expert communicator in the room, right? And even as an AI product manager, which I am currently doing, in hilariously enough in Kylie's competitor, because I work at Avid Exchange. I actually we currently also use AI tools right now, and oddly enough, I'm actually one of the people who's actually leading the AI tool implementation for the whole product organization as well, like Kylie's doing on her side of the job. So is it very relevant? Absolutely. It's more relevant today than ever has been before.
Very cool.
And then there is one question I want to preface that I saw in the chat that I want to bring up is this individual or a group one? The key reason why we're looking at this from an individual scale, vibe coding and AI is drastically changing hackathons. Hackathons used to be with a big group of people, and you'd have an engineer and a UX person. Now we have the ability to essentially bring in ourselves. We're finally in the driver's seat. So take this opportunity to do this individually. You can work on this in the future with like a UX person if you want to fine tune the elements within the UX or the UI, or bring in an engineer if you want to scale some areas like preventing hallucinations, things of that sort. That is a commonly used word in the AI space. If you don't know it, please look it up. Very important within generative AI. So I just figured I'd mention that one just in case people weren't aware. So
Awesome. Okay, Jermaine has a question. What about reverse engineering an existing product? Dating apps were mentioned. Would you recommend trying like to build? I think reverse engineering. Since we're a little bit over time, I'm just gonna jet through like the next batch of questions. Is like, uh, I think if you're looking to go ahead and build up, like while I was actually looking at some of these questions here, I've actually pulled up some references. Is like Stripe CEO never studied finance. He just reverse engineered all of PayPal's docs and built a $95 billion company at 22, right? From Ireland, of all places. And there's actually this really cool story here. I think you guys should read it. There's like these three brothers in Europe. All they do is just clone startups. And they started with like eBay, Airbnb, and Amazon, and they straight knock it off. Uh, I grew up in the clothing business in LA with my family, and where all we did was just copycat and shit. This is a real Nike shirt. But like, there's, but there's, like, I see a lot of people, like, the whole purpose is shipping something by Thursday, right? This doesn't have to be like, you're looking to just go out there and just like go through the process of just shipping something by Thursday so you can show some people on an interview and get this freaking job before Valentine's Day, ideally, right? Like we're not actually thinking about like make it as least complicated as possible. Go out there and like just do like a Stripe knockoff. Go out there and just make a DocuSign copycat, right? Um, the simpler it is, like the easier you're going to go ahead and make it for yourself. You don't need like, because I think most of you here are actively on the job hunt. Rich's DocuSign story, not only Asian, like, so like one of the biggest mistakes that I do see from people is like, oh yeah, like that idea has actually been done. I reference this other story a lot where this guy built like he's monthly recurring revenue is $250,000 a month, just telling guys to stop watching porn. No reason why you guys can't run that anywhere else. Like if you speak like a foreign language, right? So just do that, or you undercut the market. There's Cluely. Somebody made a version that was $5 cheaper called Clueless. Why not?
this doesn't need to be pixel perfect.
Oh yeah.
Come up with at the end. And the point is to get feedback and to get iterations, even if it's like during the interview. Imagine if you're like, hey, I thought that like I have a couple, like this is some feedback I have. You then could literally vibe code a prompt and then give feedback back, which I actually did in some cases for my interviews. So be like, this is V0. This is version 0. As you iterate more, you'll then see I can build more upon this. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I recently just had like this one question right here too, where somebody's like, hey Rich, like, I built products and been working for a PM for like the past 6 years, like, and I've been impacted by the layoffs, right? And how does this program here, how is that going to go out there and help me land a job? Well, I'm very sorry that you actually got impacted by the layoffs, but if you want to have a chat about it, you can schedule a call with us directly. Either me or somebody else on my team would love to have a chat with you. but we've been able to leverage both the hackathon and the YouTube methodology to go out there and help people land real jobs. And if you take a look on our YouTube channel, we have more testimonials than anybody else in the marketplace. And while everybody else is showing people tutorials, like, Kylie recently just landed multiple, like she's here on her own free will. We helped somebody land a product manager job in 43 days. We helped somebody go into Amazon, even though they're on an H-1B visa. We helped somebody go out there and actually secure multiple product manager offers just from their YouTube channel. We've helped
Yep.
this lady here land 60 days within Fidelity Investments. In fact, actually, the time that we've been talking right now, I actually got reached out to by Reza today. He's like, Happy New Year in case. He's like, I have two openings I'd like to go out there and share. If any of you guys are interested that's already in the program, reach out to me. But he has two product manager roles that are hybrid right here in New York. But he's like, I was like, do they really need to be in New York? He said, well, if they're really rock star, they can work remotely. Right now, you need a portfolio and you need a resume, and then also you need to know how to like pitch yourself. You're unfortunately, like, a lot of people call me very pissed off, and they call my team very pissed off. You're impacted along with the rest of the industry is getting impacted with a capital I. So, like, Ferraris don't really look that cool anymore compared to a helicopter when all you see is a fleet of Ferraris out there in the street. Right now, we got a lot of Ferraris right now in the street. So, to stand out from the marketplace, you have to be that much more polished. You have to have that much better resume. You have to have that much better, like, portfolio. And also, you have to take just viciously more action. I don't see a lot. I see a lot of people saying that the market's bad, but when I take a look at their metrics, it's like, how many positions did you apply today? It's like, I applied to 4 jobs today, bro. And it's Wednesday. And I got zero. And I was like, no, you got to be applying to 200, 300 jobs a day. Like, Kylie will go out there and tell you, this is a volume game. And people go through, like, I respect this, but people go, and I empathize with it, but people are going to go through a few different stages where at first they're going to go through okay, this is going to be difficult, but I've been through tough times before and I'm going to make it work. And then they're going to go through the place where they're like, fuck all this. I can't wait for these motherfuckers to get laid off themselves. Then you go through the anger phase. And then after that, they go through the helpless phase. And then after that, they come through the product driven phase, right? So it's just how long you want it to get bad before you want things to get good. And it's all like, it's like when the parent tells, it's like when the cops tell the parents in a CSI or Law and Order episode, like, your child's not coming home anymore. It's like, oh no, oh gosh, this is all my fault. And then they accept it, you know? So schedule a call. I'd love to learn more about your background and see if we can go out there and help, but I don't see a lot of people doing this on their own. If you guys want to go out there and chime in, we have two more questions on the docket.
I would also add he also helps with interviewing and like other formats as well. Like like helped with case studies and presentations. Like they've helped within creating those insights that not a lot of other industries are doing. They just give you a certificate and go. Like this is actually dedicated to landing the
Yep.
job. So coming from experience, he's helped me. Like this program has helped me with case studies, help with that insight. So just beyond
Yep.
the resume, it's just the resume is just not enough anymore.
Yep. Yep.
And you have to
No.
just expand that mindset.
No.
Otherwise, you are going to be those 1,000 other applicants that have applied in less than an hour.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly. I'm
space.
gonna make one last point. Like I was part of product Jim before we even called it that. I was part of V.1, right? And I've also come back several months ago to start my interview journey again. To understand, and there's been constant building, there's been constant improvement of the program, evolution of the program based on what the market looks like today. And so you might have been in product for 6 years. If you've been in that same role for the last 6 years, when you enter that job 6 years ago and what the market looks like today is very, very, very different, right? And so it's not one way that the program helps, it's every which way we could think of to try and separate ourselves from the pack, right? And I was incredibly discouraged when every job that I had any remote interest in the first 45 minutes, you'll see like 900 applications, right? And so there's just no way to stand out
with a typical resume. And so what do? You try everything and you do everything and you execute everything. And that's how you stand out. And doing that on your own is a lot harder to do than with some guidance, with support, with the community, right? Not to mention like reviews of your interviews, right? Getting feedback on that real time or right afterwards is probably the best. It for me was one of the most helpful elements of it because the first few calls you're going to get your butt kicked, right? And it hurts, and your ego gets shot, right? Am I right for the job? Am I still the same product guy I was 5 years ago? It's not the case, right? You got to get yourself up, wipe yourself off, and polish your skills. And there's like five different ways that we've now figured out how to enhance your opportunities. And so I know we all said the same thing in like 10 different ways, but yeah, it's a different market, right? And you got to figure out how to stand out. If you can figure that out on your own, by all means, right? But it's really how quickly do you want it done? Speed loves money. Money
Money loves
loves speed,
speed.
bro. Like that's just how it works. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that helpful, Ajay?
Yes.
Yeah, hopefully it does, man. We're trying to put as many people into jobs. Like I was very happy that we were able to move somebody into Amazon in the midst of all the craziness with like how H-1B visa holders right now are being treated is absolutely atrocious. I'm not just talking about that from like an immigrant perspective, but like I think H-1Bs helped build the tech industry in America.
it
Like,
did it did build the tech industry, bro. Literally,
I
that
think
visa
that
program
H-1B
alone.
visa holders are the American tech industry. Yeah, but Ajit, please schedule a call. I'd love to go out there, talk to you, find out what's your situation, what's your background like, and even if we can go out there and help you out.
Sounds good.
Yeah, thank you so much. Anonymous attendee, is there a specific tool that we'll be using in this hackathon that we can set up before the next sessions? I don't know. You guys want to promote anything right now? You know, hopefully get a brand ambassador deal for Manus.
We're gonna make that happen, Rich.
Yeah,
The
I want to
level,
make that happen too.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
I think,
Love. I'm sorry, go ahead, Kylie.
Yeah,
oh no, you go first.
you guys
Oh,
go. It's like,
oh no, just Lovable is just that platform right now. They just did a huge raise, right, a couple of months ago, um, betting big on capabilities, and I do think like whoever improves, enhances their platform the quickest is going to win, and why we started with Lovable at least. But
got
One
it.
platform, if you're more technical, which I have more of a technical background, I think Cursor is
Cursor,
quite interesting right now. It takes a V0 and takes it into a V1. And I think that's a core problem that's happening within Lovable. One thing to note about Lovable, they are beta testing like QA and staging environments, but this isn't ready available. So these are just some things that you have to think about scaling. But the cool thing about Lovable is that they're realizing that this is a problem. They have heavy investment money. But there are other like I'm more looking at Cursor right now. But I do also use Lovable and Base 44.
yeah,
I'm marketing technology agnostic, so I
yeah,
always look
yeah.
into, and I'm also
Yeah.
looking into
Yeah,
research.
Rich, and part of the product curriculum has a breakdown of that, right? Which tool is more
Yeah.
suitable for what population? If you are more comfortable with code, Cursor is the suggestion, right? If you want to be more of a prompt engineer, then Lovable is probably where you want to start. But yeah,
Yeah, I think we cover everything to make sure that you guys are like the most competitive. From like just being able to buy code applications all the way to building something like Chosen that's solving a real world problem I think everybody is having right now. But like to get back to it, prompting is really important because like a lot of people ask me about Replit, and I'm like, did you know like Replit actually had an AI agent that wiped out like a company's entire code base? And the CEO actually had to like apologize for it because they were able to revive the deleted code. And then they shot themselves in the foot more because they're like, hang on, we thought once you deleted something on the platform, like it's gone forever. So how much of this storage do you guys actually have? Of like things that you guys said was actually deleted, right? It's like, oh, I mean, we have yours, we don't have anybody else's deleted files. So companies are, it's unfortunate, but it's like fashion. They want to go after like the trendy stuff. Right now,
Yeah.
everybody is screaming Manus. If you guys remember last year around this time, it was right before Chinese New Year, they dropped DeepSeek. And like everyone is like, how the hell is this guy do? How the hell are they doing it with like only $6 million? I think that, I mean, they did it with less than what ChatGPT did, but I don't think it was like 6 million. With respect, like the crazy rich Asians on that side, they do $6 million a month on just dinner. But like prompting is the most important skill in terms of AI and like learning how to prompt well. And it's like what Priyanka said about like the problem statement. So all the tools don't focus like on, there's a time when there's like a lot of note-taking apps like Evernote versus Google Doc versus like OneNote. Notion ended up murdering them all. If you learn one, it's base 44 versus Cursor versus like Replit, or like it's not that difficult. Lovable is the one that has the biggest name right now. So just stick with something easy. Yeah, if you guys want to add something before I go ahead and get to Jermaine's like last question.
Oh, good.
Okay, how do you guys test if a pain point is a huge pain point through online forums? I think Reddit is really cool, but also having your own, like we're gonna talk a little bit about WAP tomorrow, but you need a place where you guys can actually gather feedback, right? So let's take for this example here. I'm inclined because Kylie's spending her time out here to blow up Chosen for her. I think about that K-pop Demon Hunter song Golden every time I say Chosen.
I was gonna call it rejects, but I thought that was a too negative thing.
Like,
I'm like,
gotta be
I'm a little bit of a
chosen.
punk, but Nick might not be following into that.
People feeling like K-pop Demon Hunter's getting hired in this market. It's like
Yeah,
harder to get a
exactly.
job than it is to debut as an idol. But you need to mobilize like your customer base into some kind of free forum where you can continuously have feedback from them, because you don't know what's a huge pain point unless you have enough. Actually, let me bring Jermaine up here. It's actually really cool. Jermaine's actually part of the team, but he also, we also we're an AI first company, so he's actually learning this. Jermaine, you on the call? He is. You are allowed to speak, my friend. Yeah. So, what was I gonna say? You want to mobilize, because the thing about gathering customer feedback and pain points is that a lot of times people they don't know what questions to ask, and they need somebody else to ask a question, any question, even a dumb question. That's why there really is no such thing as a stupid question. And then that gives them an idea to ask another question, and that inspires some spark for somebody to ask another question, right? So for those of you who have not gone inside of the AI product management, we have a free WAP community just for everybody here. I think James plugged it. Oh yeah, give me a second. The webinar replay, fam, just to let you guys know, the webinar replay is going to be in here. We want to go out there and gather as much feedback, because only when you're talking to like 20 to 30 people at scale do you really know what are the huge pain points, because it's extremely time consuming for you to talk to one person at a time. And then the other thing is, even if you have the time and the energy to do it, a lot of times they don't give you really good feedback because you're not like, they don't know what feedback to give you. Yeah, Kylie.
I was also going to add, look at Twitter rants. Sometimes the loudest voices can end up being like a good signal of a good persona. So starting to build some of those use cases, and literally my advice is pull that quote, add that to the persona. And when you're actually building your like hackathon and building your portfolio, you can then be like, oh, these were some of the things that customers would say. And as you then gauge and do the like do your V0, you then can do follow-ups to those certain users and gauge their insights. We all have to start off with some level of product intuition decision making. So if you just grab quotes from whether that's Twitter or LinkedIn or Facebook, a Facebook group, I think that will be a good first starting point. And you can also talk to people that you know are exploring that problem too. So
Yeah. WAP is the one of the premier platforms to go ahead and for people to monetize off of their AI apps, and just like in general. For those of you who don't know WAP, they're actually one of the hot companies that I actually listed. And it's actually on the newsletter. See, this is actually another benefit about actually being a part of the community is learning about all these companies that people don't talk about. Is where are all these guys that have the money in the market right now, like the PayPal Mafia, like where are they deploying their cash? They have a huge check from Peter Thiel, and he does not lose, nor will he ever. But they're here, right here in New York, Brooklyn. They process $200 million like a month. I was actually able to be inside their office back in it's insane what they're doing right now. Having said that, you want to mobilize your people, your customers into WAP. We're actually going to talk about that a little bit more on Tuesday. Um, and actually like moving on forward, just so that you guys know, you have to put your people into a forum and you have to figure out um, what are all the additional things that they want beyond just that service of like, let's just say a chosen. Like you have to figure out that perfect pricing strategy, right? There's a lot of work that goes into it, which makes it a really good side project to show on companies because that's what you're doing all day as product manager. Um, Having said that, I popped in the link for if you guys want to see the replay of this, is actually on wap.com. We're popping it in there. But with that said, I'm having trouble. Oh, give me a second here. I'm sorry, my friend. I guess that one little thing. Sharam?
Oh, thanks.
Yo,
Thanks. That's
what's
fine.
good, man?
That's all I wanted to know.
What about what?
I just wanted to talk when I wanted to. That's all. I kind of felt like I've been muted completely. I couldn't speak
I
at all.
have a voice and I demand to be heard. Okay,
That's a
all right.
demand.
Of
Yes.
course.
Thanks.
Yeah. Overall, like I'm just gonna end with this. We have a ton of hiring referrals that are coming down the block. James right here is with Capital One. Give me a second here. I actually wanted to show everybody about this, but this is I think maybe James, you probably know her, but she is the product management recruiter over there at Capital One. Her name is Seema. She hires for all the product manager roles. She's hiring for multiple product manager openings right now, and she's reviewing resumes. We getting some people over to her right now, so like get your resumes ready to like I'm ready to start firing for you guys. Like I have hiring managers that are reaching out to me, right? Like he's not the only guy. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I've been a total degen over the holidays myself too. I'm like kind of getting back into it. I just took a power nap before I hopped on here. I can own it. But like, I have a bunch of hiring managers that I need to go ahead and get back to. Let's get your resumes. Let's get your resumes ready to go. Yes, it's not enough, but you still need it. Let's get your portfolios ready. Let's get you branded out, looking sparkling. Let's get your interview skills up and like schedule the call so we can move you into this job. 100%. It is absolutely doable. I think we actually have another. Oh, I think she hopped off, but Yana was here earlier. We had another Capital One product manager that was here earlier, right? Uh, let's go out there and make it happen. My man Tybo, I'm gonna hit you up right after this. Let me take a quick water break, but we have a lot of really good stuff coming in. Day two is tomorrow. Has everybody RSVP'd for day two yet? For the hackathon? Anybody that has not, I'm gonna pop in the link right now. Okay, so that's very, very good. Let's go out there and make sure. Yo, everybody, can you guys go ahead and just give a big thank you to Kylie and James for coming out? They're here on their own time, trying to help all of you guys right now. Yeah, so please, I do have a question. Oh, Sharam, can you hit me up on LinkedIn directly? Because I want to let these two people go. Actually, Sharam, hit me. Can you ping me on LinkedIn after I talk to Taiwo? I'm gonna go ahead and give you a call
Sure. Thanks.
now that you can talk.
Awesome.
Thought you
Awesome.
say something. Any other questions? Okay, we'll see y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow on day two. Congratulations, Kylie, again on fresh in from the job and the new year. This was I mean, I remember Kylie from like in person 2019, like YouTube, like this was like combat, right? Getting a product manager job this time around.
Can't even describe how much I miss product manager hiring, like interviewing in 2019. I feel like they would just hand you the job. Now I feel like
Wow.
you have to jump into so many loops. I don't even know. I'm just happy I got it to the end of it, but it's a different cycle, but it doesn't mean you can't get there.
It's just a lot more work. It's a lot
Yeah.
more work. We're gonna try to make it as easier. I can't promise that it's gonna be easy because it's not, but we'll try to make it
No.
easier. All right, Taiwo, it's 7:34 at my timer now. I'm gonna hit you up right now, and then Shram, I'm gonna hit you up right afterwards. Okay. All right,
Thanks,
Julio,
y'all.
thank you guys so much. Thank you. Bye.